Years ago, we had a really bad snowstorm, like really brutal. The snow was coming down so hard that drivers had no visibility, so they couldn't see anything. And then they'd hit a big 4 foot snowdrift that would veer them off in the ditch. They get stuck and buried out there, and it was a real bad one. So I was at work that night, and we got a call out there that down the road from our station a couple had been coming home from a holiday party and had crashed. Um, so the male driver died in the accident, and I believe it was his wife that was with him. She exited the vehicle and walked out into the snow. So they were asking for our assistance to help look for her, to help assist, the county police in that. Bad situation. So I don't know what the deal was. Maybe she was in shock from seeing her husband die in the accident, the whole thing. Maybe she was intoxicated coming from a party. I don't know, and I won't judge that situation. The fact is, any one of us can be caught in a very bad situation like that. So today I wanted to talk about preparing for that. You know, she walked out there and her body was not found until spring. The description we were given was that she was wearing a dress and a red coat, something like you'd imagine somebody to wear to a party, which probably was not the warmest apparel to have in a bad storm like that. So probably the best thing she could have had, which everybody should keep in your vehicle: sweatshirts, spare coat, hat, gloves. It's important to understand these aren't props. I didn't come bring these over here to put in to make this video. I decided I was going to shoot this video. I walked over to the van and I grabbed the things that I had in here to show on what I actually keep in the vehicle at all times when it gets to cold weather. It's getting cold here, so these are important things. Find you some spare warm clothes to just keep in the vehicle. Now, some people say, well, it's expensive to have an extra coat and stuff and all that. No, it's not. Go to Goodwill or your local thrift store and for $3 get a ugly coat. It doesn't matter how it looks. The point is that you have that. For a coat, sweatshirt, some gloves you probably have laying around, and a stocking cap to throw in there for each occupant of the vehicle probably cost you just a few bucks to grab at Goodwill. And you have, and just keep it in the vehicle with you at all times. Also, blankets. I always keep a sleeping bag. I actually have another sleeping bag that comes with me too, but it's in the tent right now. We're using it. So something like that. And this is actually a moving blanket for moving furniture, padding, and stuff like that. But hey, it'll work. If you had to stay warm in the winter, this will work for you. Something like that. So if that woman had been able to keep her wits about her, could have reached in the back seat, grabbed some warmer clothes to throw on real quick, and threw a blanket over her, she would have been rescued in a matter of minutes. Somebody would have been out there, found her, and she would have been okay and probably still alive today. At the bare minimum, warm clothes and some blankets. Keep them in your vehicle with you. In addition to clothing to keep you warm, one of the primary problems you run into in the winter is dead batteries too. So at the minimum, have you a set of jumper cables that are appropriate for your size vehicle. If you don't know how to use these, print up, you can go on the internet and they, find pictures that show which attach this first, this second, whatever. Print that up and laminate it and attach it to your cables and keep it with you. Just in case, the other person you're getting a jump from also doesn't know how to do it properly. You have a reference there to work from. Also, there's these little charging packs. So if you don't have another vehicle to jump you can just use this jumper pack. And, that's great. Make sure you keep it charged though. You know, bring it in once a month or whatever, throw it on the charger, make sure it's topped off and the battery's good on it. Those are good options to have too. And the other thing is being able to change a tire. You know, you should always have the stuff to change a tire on you. My spare is up underneath, and I've noticed when vehicles have the spare underneath, they're prone to getting rusty and locking up under there. I had one time I needed to get a spare down from another vehicle, and it was all rusted up in there, and it was a nightmare to get it down. I was down there kicking the hell out of it, and just took forever to get it to drop. So I try to a couple times a year drop the tire and raise it back up. Just keep that mechanism working. If yours is kept inside your vehicle or wherever, that's fine too. Where just make sure it's kept aired up and in good condition. A jack. Now I have a heavy duty 3-ton jack here because when I'm traveling, the van's full of weight and I'm pulling a trailer that's full of weight. So I may need to jack up either the trailer or the van with a bunch of weight in it. You probably don't need as heavy duty of a jack, but I would still recommend getting a little beefier jack than the one that comes with your vehicle. You know, that one that comes with your vehicle, these things are garbage. You know, so just go to the hardware store and invest in and find you a $60 one or something. So they usually come in a case, not a super heavy duty, but it's a major improvement over the one that comes with the vehicle. Have a good jack with you, and of course your tire iron. Gotta have that. Last couple of things to mention are simply a phone charger, one that plugs into your cigarette lighter. Most of the time, most situations, you get into an emergency, you can call for help today in almost all places of the world. So make sure you have a way to keep your phone charged off. And when you go for a ride during bad weather, don't have your battery depleted going on a dead phone. Make sure you're charged up. And a flashlight. Doesn't need to be a fancy one. This is a cheap, $7.99 one. Doesn't really matter. I prefer ones that are waterproof or at least rain resistant, because most of the time when the power goes out and bad things like that are happening, it's also raining. So having a waterproof one's good. This has got a little carabiner on it, which is nice. So when you're not using it, you can just hook it on your belt loop and walk around doing what you're doing, and it'll stay right there with you. So yeah, blankets, warm clothing, way to charge your battery, way to change your tire, your phone charger, and a flashlight. Make sure the batteries are good on it too a couple times a year. That's the bare minimum you should have. I also keep a get home bag in the vehicle, which I can do in another video on the contents of that and the philosophy behind having a bag for getting yourself home with. But that's a little more detailed. I'll do that in another video.